Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1979's Football Cheerleader, aka Pro Ball Cheerleaders from 1979. Very, very difficult for me to show you this very rare DVD cover on YouTube, but Candida Royale is on the front with somebody else with a football helmet playing with her bottom, her vagina. So, but I can show you the back of the DVD here. There is the back. Okay, Football Cheerleaders. And interestingly enough, Candida Royale is in this film, and that was for another film that I reviewed on this YouTube page, Six Swedes Behind Bars, otherwise known in a more fuller, extended cut as Ball Game. And other members of that cast from that film were also in this one, like Sue Nero and Lisa DeLue. So very interesting. And this is 1979, and this is a very interesting adult film from the late 70s that has the feel of a cheerleader film, a cheerleader sexploitation film, a cheerleader teen sex comedy, an exploitation film, a blaxploitation film, a shock film. It has it all in there, folks, and it's X-rated. It's hardcore. So this is Football Cheerleader. If you're a fan of Candida Royale, this is really her film. She's in it a ton, and there's a lot to be said about this crazy, crazy adult film from 1979. Let's get into this film right here, folks. First and foremost, this DVD is put out by GourmetDVD.com, GVC. Now, this is an official release here, but it also is a DVD-R, but it has a cover on it, which is the cover of the movie. Picked this up on DiabolicDVD.com. It looked like they had one copy, and then as soon as I bought it, it was gone forever. As you know, I've reviewed cheerleader films on this YouTube page, like Cheerleader Beach Party, of course, the infamous original Cheerleaders, and also Revenge of the Cheerleaders. And this would definitely fall into that genre of film, yet it is X-rated. So let's look at this film here, because there's a lot of interesting things going on. First and foremost, the music for this film. Yes, we have some big band cheerleader football music in the movie, but we also have some really awesome disco, some awesome just groovy funk in this movie, just slapping the bass, like just some groovy, funky disco music throughout the film, and not in the typical porno way of music, which tends to be kind of groovy and funky, but very, very light, almost like groovy, funky elevator music. Not this movie. This movie, I mean, they could release a soundtrack for it. It's just funky, man. And there's also a jovial vibe to it as well. And there's a lot of music in this movie, definitely. And I mean, there's even a disco dancing scene at the end, but we're going to get more into that as we go on here. What we have here is we have a film where we have cheerleaders trying out for a team, and we also have some secrets behind one of the cheerleaders and a gambling ring at a local discotheque and her ties with that. And we have a very similar thesis or a similar theme in terms of the idea that sex will tire players out, which we saw in the original Cheerleaders film. And in this particular case, wanting a particular team to lose, so utilizing the girl from the gambling ring to make sure that that star player and team loses. So we have gambling ring, discotheque, cheerleaders, love triangles, abstinence. Yes, it's all here for the football game. Now, in terms of, man, this film has it has it all in terms of it. It's very unique. It's so difficult to talk about because there's so much going on here. We have an X-rated film that actually has also a good deal of dialogue, a great deal of just funniness, like just like comic vibes, but also shock humor, definitely. I mean, humor involving incest. There's also, and this is where it really sets itself apart, we have there, so much of the dialogue could be quoted in the best of exploitation books out there. If you love wild exploitation dialogue, if you love dialogue that, I mean, you will talk about forever, text it to your friends. I mean, if you love exploitation, off the wall, crazy dialogue, football cheerleader has it. Pro ball cheerleaders has it. This is chock full to the brim with insane dialogue. And it's vulgar, it's very explicit, it's very sexual, but it is crazy and it is hilarious. And I mean, it's just wild stuff. I think there was something called Pussy Scissors in here. Just the way the movie was written was done in a way that was not only X-rated, but also comical and creatively exploitative in the exploitation realm. So we have dialogue in here as if we have dialogue, from some exploitation action film like Raw Force or something like that, and meets an X-rated movie. I mean, it's just really crazy. In terms of what we got going on in this film, we have my gosh, what don't we have going on? The funny thing is, as the movie goes on, we got about 15 to 20 minutes before anything really seriously hardcore goes on. I mean, we got a little piece of oral, but I mean, so the film kind of has some breath to it. It has some life to it. The acting is fun. It's it's kind of, it's just full of like that teen sex comedy life. Okay, this really is a teen sex comedy cheerleader film meets an adult film. That's essentially what it is. If you like that mix, if you're looking for that mix, this is a film for you. We have a sex scene outside in the muddy, dirty rain, just raining incessantly outside of a school bus. That even involves anal. We have a sex scene on a toilet in a bathroom. We have a girl wanting to have her vagina wiped after peeing. We have, oh my gosh, what don't we have? We have an aunt and her nephew doing it. We have lots of talk about the vagina. And like I said, that exploitative dialogue, that crazy dialogue, that jovial dialogue, that vulgar porno dialogue. We also have, oh my gosh, we have crazy usage of VHS tapes and video footage, which, I mean, kind of ahead of its time in some form or fashion, and kind of using a bit of some things that, some tricks of video recording that would be utilized in tons of films of all different genres much later on. So that was really, really interesting. We also have a scene where we watch some of the video footage, almost like, it's almost like Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, where somebody doesn't remember what happened the night before and they're watching the footage. We have a guy who has sex with somebody while he's sleeping. We have resuscitating players, which is similar to one of the stories in a film that I reviewed in this YouTube page called Star Virgin. We have licking of the vagina from behind, from the front. We have oral from both guys and girls. We have a very shocking scene in this movie involving an aunt using some kind of plastic thing and sticking it in a man's butt, in her nephew's butt, actually. I mean, it's not overly explicit, actually, but you're just seeing it kind of go between his butt cheeks. Really shocking, kind of crazy. We also have a woman in this film, supposedly older, but still looks awesome. All the girls look great in this film. If you like girls that have curves or thicker, you're gonna love the girls in this film, absolutely. And there's even interracial stuff in this film as well. We have a woman, kind of an older woman, who is mentioned to be a dyke in the film, quote unquote, and she loves to wear strap-ons, and she loves to wear football uniforms. But at the same time, she also, I guess, loves her nephew a bit as well too. We have crazy sections with, oh my gosh, in the bar, in the discotheque, we have fully nude, we have strip disco dancing in the film as well. Of course, we have cheering. Man, I got to tell you, there's a lot of crazy stuff, going on in here. And the interesting theme of the film that's explored even more directly than in the original Cheerleaders film is that sex is something that would deplete you to the way of not being able to perform in a football game, but in life in general. That sex is something that is negative. And as the film goes on, that theme, of course, gets proven wrong or switches or changes as a result of incest. And what we have is that sex that theme actually morphs and changes as the movie goes on, and that you can actually win at life or win at the football game, of course, even if you're depleting your energy with sex. Now, the interesting thing also in this film is that all of the male ejaculation shots in this movie I believe they were in slow motion. Very, very interesting. We also have fantastic dance sequences in this film. At the beginning, Candida is wearing like a plastic outfit. I've never seen anything quite like this before, and definitely the raciest cheerleader tryouts I've ever seen. We have crazy kind of sexploitation names to the cheerleaders and to the football players and football teams and things like that, of course, involving the word prick and things like that. We have slow motion in the dance sequences as well, and it's really well done. We have a shower scene, but really not much goes on, but we do have a female inspection of the female cheerleaders in the shower, involving her fingers going into the vaginas and checking them. I don't know really exactly what 100% she was checking for. And I will say that the sex scenes are great. They're erotic, they're wild, they're also quite shocking. Some definitely would be a little bit shocked. The girls in here are great. I love Candida Royale. I love Sue Nero and Lisa DeLue. Sue Nero didn't really have much to do, but there is some video footage on a VHS tape that's part of the storyline of the movie that involves lots of vagina tasting all at once. So there we go, folks. This is Football Cheerleader, otherwise known as Pro Ball Cheerleaders, from 1979. This is truly a cheerleader film. Teen sex comedy, blaxploitation, exploitation meets an adult film, and really some interesting things going on with gambling and crime, and really this black guy that works at the discotheque, and just the whole he also DJs at the discotheques, which is very cool, and some money being with the gambling, and also kind of a prude character that involves fining the players if they are found having sex, and kind of the shenanigans to try to break the players connected to the crime ring there. And there is some wonderfully, outrageously vulgar, exploitative, insane dialogue in this entire film, but especially between the character of Candida Royale and her black friend, who is the DJ at the discotheque. This is Football Cheerleader, Pro Ball Cheerleaders. I'm just showing you the back here, folks, and this is put out by GVC Gourmet DVD.com. This is extremely hard to find. Very, very rare. Of course, everybody has torrents and you can steal everything. I don't like that. That's just me. I want to have the real copy. I want to support the artists, the companies, so on and so forth. And this is very, very difficult to find, so some people might have to go and find digital streams. But this was the last copy. Very, very hard to find, but very, very worth it if this sounds good to you. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Football Cheerleader, aka Pro Ball Cheerleaders 1979. Thank you, and have a good night.